Many thanks for staying on LN 24/7. This is Politics Now. My name is Morno Balagubo. We've got quite a packed show for you. But let's begin today by focusing on the new year 2025 with a look x-raying Tinubu's agenda for the year and outlook for politics in general. Those are one of our talking points. First, we look at Tinubu's 8 points renewed hope agenda, and then 2025 politics, expectations and projections. Our guest, Peter Hassan, is a public affairs analyst, hails from southern part of Kaduna, a pastor, politician and businessman, served as former Kaduna State Labour Chairman and presently the State Labour Executive Secretary, Publicity and Strategies Director for One Purpose Initiative NGO and the Managing Director, D. Castro Global Limited. Once again, thank you so much, Pastor Haruna, for being with us on the program.
Thank you very much for having me, and Happy New Year.
I mean, quite a pedigree, pastor, politician. That's something that we never thought we would see being merged together.
Yeah, my aspiration into politics is a calling. I didn't just join politics. I was called into politics by God. And certainly, I have told myself, my presence in politics, I will only but represent God and support the masses.
So let's get right into it. Barely a week into the new year, Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is set on the path of renewing the hope of Nigerians. The president has recently and consistently made the case that his reform agenda represents a comprehensive attempt to address Nigeria's economic challenges through fiscal and structural adjustments. While supporters hail these measures as necessary for revitalizing the economy, political opponents like the likes of Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar have both posited that the country is heading in the wrong direction with regards to how policies are being implemented. As far as reactions to the president's New Year message is concerned, National Publicity Secretary Debo Ologunagba, the PDP, expressed disappointment that despite pleas from concerned citizens, Tinubu's speech failed to provide a clear direction for the country or offer solutions to the pressing issues facing Nigerians. The PDP called on the president to address the issue of fuel prices, suggesting that with better management of national resources, Nigerians should not be paying more than 350 naira per litre for petrol. Similarly, the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 elections, Peter Obi, expressed concern over the omission of the North Central Region Commission from the budgetary allocations provided to other regional commissions in the proposed 2025 budget. Obi described the development as troubling and called for its urgent reversal to ensure even growth and peace across the country. Do recall the president said his administration in 2025 will further consolidate and increase access to credit for individuals and critical sectors of the economy to boost national economic output via the National Credit Guarantee Company. He also said in 2025 he'll unveil the National Values Charter and the Youth Confab will begin in the first quarter of 2025 to enhance youth inclusiveness and investment as nation builders. The president pledged to develop the East region after meeting with stakeholders over the weekend. Have a listen to the soundbite.
This house, we must build it. Build it to satisfy our immediate need, which is not going to be enough yet, but our tomorrow too. That is why the removal of the fuel subsidy was necessary. You cannot spend the future of generations yet unborn in advance.
New year, new agenda, but let's take time to remind you again of the key point agenda of the administration of President Bola Tinubu. Food security, ending poverty, economic growth and job creation, access to capital improving, security and improving the playing field on which people and particularly companies operate, the rule of law and fighting corruption. The government asserts that the agenda will restore citizens' trust in governance by addressing the root causes of Nigeria's challenges and fostering a more prosperous, secure and equitable future. It emphasizes the need for commitment from government officials and civil servants, indicating that success depends on collective effort and accountability. And in a bid to address these challenges, the president has removed fuel subsidy amidst rising taxes, which have intensified economic challenges, including inflation and increased poverty levels. All right, so let's get into the business of the day by looking at the president's visit in Enugu over the weekend to commission some projects undertaken by Governor Mba of Enugu State, and also, most importantly, the stakeholders meeting he had with those from that particular region. I saw Governor Tinubu was also there, and the commitment to develop the region. How do you unpack this, given the fact that, many would say that the eastern region has been neglected for quite some time?
Well, I think for me, I want to say Happy New Year to Nigerians and Happy New Year to LN24. Thank you for having me. I am Honorable Pastor Peter Hassan, former chairman of Labour Party Kaduna State and the executive secretary of Labour Party in Kaduna State. And presently, I am representing the masses. I call myself the representative of the masses. But coming to the discussions on ground concerning the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu, his presence in Enugu State, I want to say, is a loud one, is a good one, is commendable, and I really appreciate him for that. And for the meeting he had with the Eastern governors and stakeholders, I want to say is a very, very good thing. And I hope with what Governor Mba has done of Enugu State, other state governors will take it up from him. I want to say it that in a very good way, that the governor of Enugu State took a very bold step after this gigantic project he has done, but the president and commander of the Chief of the Armed Forces to come and commission the project. I want to say it's a step on the right direction. In that same state zone, we have other states that have not done what he has done in a short while. And I hope people like Imo State and other states will also copy from it. You can see Enugu State, Abia State, they are really working, and we can see the outcome and the push. And the meeting that was held by the president, I want to say is commendable, because the Eastern State has long overdue for not just compensation, but for upgrade. They are the only region that have 5 states. So I hope with this, the president will not just use political word, but also at the end, before the end of his tenure, create more states for the Eastern and also give other states, especially the Southern Kaduna, because we are craving for states also. I think it's a good step on the right direction.
But the northern states have 6 states. The northern region, have, what am I even saying now?
The northern states have, the northwest have 6 states. Yes, it's true. But I don't want to deviate. But from what the president said in his media chat before the end of the year, he said Nigeria is big. That Nigeria is big. So since Nigeria is big, create more states for what? For easy enablement and operation and administration.
Well, thankfully, the president has said that there's going to be a census. So I guess that should determine whether or not a region needs an extra state.
I hope that this is not a political strategic talk from the presidency. Because during the former APC administration, President Buhari also said there will be census. And we waited till ages. We never saw census. They were appointment in and out. I think I remembered 2 persons were appointed to be the directors for Nigerian population census. to be. And at the end of the day, nothing was done. Allocation was done, and nothing was done. So I hope this will not be another political words again to say there will be census. They will say it and they will do it. But thank God to what I have seen with President Tinubu. He says it, and he's being careful, and we can see he has started doing some of the things he said. So we're expecting more from him.
All right. Now, talking about the president's trip to Enugu, I recall your former presidential candidate for the Labour Party, saying that the president should visit every state in the country to assess the economic hardship that Nigerians are facing. Do you think this is something the government should do this year?
Yes, I think it should be added to his personal agenda. Every year, I am very positive. I am very positive that Nigeria will enjoy positivity this year. Something good will happen because both the Christian, both the Muslims, we have all prayed and we took our prayers to the new year and we asked God for favor for the year 2025, and we are positive that God is a God that answered prayer. And it is because of the prayers of Nigeria that we are still one today. If not so, we would have divided and a lot of things would have happened. But what the presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi of Labour Party says, I want to say is good, and I want to support what he has said, that the president should, in his personal agenda for trip or itineraries, he should add visitations to states. If he cannot meet up all the 36 states for this year, at least the remaining states can be carried over. But meanwhile, he should prepare a visit for all the 6 geopolitical zones, discuss with the stakeholders in the zone. And as he's moving, I want to employ Mr. President. I know he's hearing and I know his aide are hearing. Mr. President can go with flight, while his ministers and his entourage should go by road, so that they will see what is really happening in the grassroots. As I say so, I want to point out that there are some places that don't have electricity. If they go by road, they will see that there are places that they need electricity. There are some places that need infrastructure. If they go, they will know. If there are some places that needs road infrastructure. If they go, how the portals and whatever. If a minister of road and a minister of works is traveling by air, what is he going to do by air? If a minister of agriculture is traveling by air, what is he going to do by air? So by the time they go by land, they will know the areas where they are supposed to work, and is going to also really boost Nigeria economy and infrastructure.
Now, looking at the foreign trips of the president, I mean, last year was monumental. Lots of foreign investments, according to the presidency, came into Nigeria as a result of those trips. But there's been the question of, like, you can't be everywhere if you truly want to reduce the cost of governance. Today, the president is in Ghana for the inauguration of the newly elected president. Given this year that is now in motion, do you think the president should have a rethink?
Yes, the visitation, if it is inauguration, you cannot take it out from any president. As long as the president is fit and available. People attended his inauguration, so he should attend other countries' inauguration as the commander. He's not going there on his own. He's going to represent the country. For example, the inauguration of a new president. Let's say for this year, 2025, if 40 presidents of the world, 40 presidents out of the presidents in the world are being inaugurated this year, one summit or the other, he's expected to be there because he's the first representative of the country. But if it is a trip of jamboree, a trip of his personal trip, I think I would want to suggest that he should cut it off. And he should cut it off, not even reducing it. At least he should borrow from Donald Trump. Donald Trump entered, during his first tenure, he entered the office. He said, no, he's not going to take any salary. He's not going to take anything from the U.S. government. And he was able to keep it for that 4 years. Tinubu is rich, he's capable, he has the means. So, Mr. Tinubu, you can also do the same thing.
And
all those your SS, just give it out. Give those SS money. Give it. You have the means. You have it. Give it out so that we Nigerians can say, yes, we have a president who listens to us. The president, I'm telling you, is capable. He can sponsor his choice.
I also recall Peter Obi saying that the president should avoid, going for medical tourism, so to speak. I mean, to traveling out for medical aid and all of that.
I want to say is that it's a personal decision. It's a personal decision. If I have confidence in my doctor and my doctor is in Lagos...
But don't you think that it shows confidence on the part of the medical system in Nigeria if he chooses to actually...
Mr. President is just...
Mr. treated here in the
country. Mr. President has a lot in his mind. And I know that every suggestion that is being brought and advice, he will heed to it. But I want to still tell you that anything that has to do with health is a personal decision. Anything that has to do with it, instead of him going out, I want to suggest that he should bring those facilities to the country. But even bringing it to the country, you need people that will be what? That are going to operate it. And I want to refer to you that even the past administration that stayed for 8 years, the former APC the president, Muhammad Buhari, for 8 good years, they keep approving budget allocation for the health facility in Aso Rock. And there was never a day he took any treatment from the Aso Rock. Every treatment goes abroad. And even it was through that treatment that goes abroad that the chief of staff died abroad. If the facility is working as it maintained, then good. But I want to tell you that I believe in my heart, I feel that the allocation that was done, there are some persons who are benefiting from it. When they do allocation, they will divert the fund and nothing is being done there. So, Mr. President, please, I want to further put my voice to the voice of Nigerians and Mr. Peter Obi, that you should equip Aso Rock, make it a worthwhile, and bring people to come and train Nigerians so that we can be able to have our own facility and people can pay and come in. And do you understand that most of the big doctors we have internationally are Nigerians? Most of the big hospitals we have, if you go, most of the consultants are Nigerians doing well outside. Why? Because a prophet is not recognized even in his own house. Nigeria are not recognizing them.
So my question to you is, how does this government plan on reducing the cost of government? I know you're a member of the opposition, so you can't speak for the government. So the proper question should be, how can, given the president said during his media chat that Nigeria is too big to run, and therefore the size of his cabinet, I mean, is not something he's looking forward to reduce. So how would cost reduction happen?
Cost reduction will take place if a proper analysis is done. Now,
but we have the report.
We have a lot of duplications. We have a lot of duplication. For example, if you go to the transportation system from the Buhari government, tell me, how many times have you traveled to Niger by train? What are you going to do in Niger by train? But the former administration of APC built a road, a railway network from Abuja, from Kano down to Niger. That is not even, is not very, very important to us. Now, if you want to travel to any place of your assignment and there is affordable train, you will not go and take Marco Polo of 37,000 or 45,000. You're not going to go and take flights of 170,000 per ticket. You are going to go through the train. From here to Kaduna, train is very cheap. Compare, I was traveling from Kaduna to Abuja, I paid 10,000 naira by road. If the train is affordable and available, I would have just gone to the railway and paid 3,000-4,000 naira, and I'm in Abuja and I will do whatever I want to do and still pay the same money and go back. So the money I pay by road coming would have been a true and floating. So I want to say that there is the cost of governance can be cut down to a minimal if this year we don't look at approving a lot of money for newspaper review, for state assembly, for national assembly, Senate and House of Rep. We don't look for a gigantic cars for them to run about, both the National Assembly and the executive. We don't look for a wardrobe, and we don't look for a tactical way of diverting funds by saying furniture and other allowances. If those allowances can be cut down, I want to tell you that, yes, the government can be able to downsize the cost of running the administration. I want to also let you understand that most of the time, the running of this administration, as we are talking about, is not really from the masses. It's from the executive, from the National Assembly, both green and red chambers, down to the executive. See the fleet of cars they are running. How much is to fuel a full tank of car? And you see a House of Rep member is moving with 4 cars, 5 cars.
The salaries that the House of Assembly members are earning are determined by the government via the RM.
That is why I tell you,
agency.
they can cut costs. They can cut costs. By the time it's being visited, they can cut costs.
But that has not happened. In the last year, we saw increment for judiciary workers, which is overdue, as many people will feel, but 300%.
I want to tell you that the review of the government workers, it was just like a tip of the iceberg. You give workers 70,000 and they are buying rice for 110,000. What have you done? Are they not going to pay transport? Are they not going to cook the rice? How much is gas? Before this administration coming, we are buying gas how much? 5,000 naira per 12.5 kg. But now we are buying gas for how much? 14,000, 15,000 naira for 12.55 kg. If you say you are giving them 70,000 naira, their children that are in school, how did they go to school? The houses they are living, so many of them are living in rented houses. How will they meet up to pay the rent? They have not finished eating. They have not finished paying school fees. What about health? Because as long as depression continues, health challenges continue. How will they meet up the health challenges they are having? There is no family in Nigeria today you go, you will not see one person that is sick. If they are not sick of ulcer, they are sick of diabetes. Because of the nature of the kind of food they eat. You can imagine the past, since this administration have come, they have really tried. They've played their little part. Honestly, I give kudos to them. But all they've been giving Nigeria is stash. Where have you seen them sharing groundnut oil? Where have you seen them sharing tomato paste? Where have you seen them sharing chicken, beef for protein and others? But all they keep sharing is carbohydrate. And it's also dangerous to some people's what? Health.
Now, I want us to look at the 8-point agenda of the president again, and of course, the budget of restoration, as it's been called, over 47 trillion naira. Now, you look at the first point on the agenda there that talks about ending poverty and food security, economic growth, and job creation. And, you know, if you want to look at reducing cost of governance, I mean, you do the linkage between the Ministry of Agriculture, and then we now have a livestock ministry talk about reducing cost of governance. Now, when you look at what was earmarked for agriculture in 2025, about 800 billion naira compared to, I mean, other important sector allocations in the budget. How will this administration achieve that, given that what experts are calling meager allocation for agriculture?
You see,
how will this agenda be achieved?
The truth is that for agriculture, I want to let you understand that in the place of the agriculture, the allocation is mega. Sincerely, is mega. And why do I say it's mega? By the right, research shows that only Niger State can produce the food for the whole West Africa. Niger State can produce food for the whole West Africa. Now, if that is being done, when we talk about West Africa, you know how many continents make up West Africa. Now, going into it, how much is the allocation that the Ministry of Agriculture will send in support to the Niger State government in food production? You can see that it's as good as nothing. So that is also an issue. Go to Niger, go to Ibadan. They also produce a very large sum of food. How much will be sent to them? So you see that it's mega. And if you are looking at, when they say food security and production, it doesn't stop there. Security is also attached to it, because with the way Nigeria is porous today, people have been raped, people are being kidnapped, people are being macheted, people are being massacred in their own farm where they are trying to cultivate their land. So there is a need to empower local security in order to safeguard the life of those who are even farming it. Because if your farm is not safe, how do you go to the farm? And that is where infrastructure comes. If there is a road network to every nook and cranny of Nigeria, then it will be very, very easy for people to easily enter their farm, do all kind of farming, and come back. But when the place is not secured, all this money at the end of the day, the same government will still share it within themselves. And tomorrow they will still go and buy food. Go and check every report they will get. I follow so many reports when they were defending their budget last year. And so many of them were saying they buy food, they buy food, they buy food, they buy food. And where is the food coming from? Outside country. Not that it's being produced in Nigeria. If you are telling me this food are produced in Nigeria, where in Nigeria? Because KB State produced a large sum of rice, very large sum of rice, but they are having security challenge.
Now, these states that you are mentioning, I do recall at the ending of 2024, the president was talking to the governors, and he was like happy, speaking to them on the importance of grassroots development. Now, how do you think 2025 will be different?
How will governors, how will governors have a grassroots development where a governor is not staying in the state? Some governors are elected in their state, but they stay in Abuja. They rule their state from Abuja. Some governors are elected from their various states.
And what do you think is responsible for that?
It's because of insecurity. And they are not ready to stand up for it. Insecurity,
so
they are scared.
Their local states, running away from their local states for fear of being attacked.
Yes. For fear of being attacked by two set of category of people. One, the woodlums. Two, the angry Nigeria that are hungry. So anytime you see a governor pass and people are shouting, oh, it's because they are hungry. And I do man is the devil's for shop. No work to do, no food to eat. What do you do? So if you see people trying to do anything, you just join them. If they kill you, say, oh, die, now die.
So with local government autonomy, implemented by this administration, what is the hope for Nigeria?
The implementation has not come yet. What we just did was a kangaroo of the local government autonomy. Don't forget when it was announced last year, because of it was announced, every state governor run an appointed local government chairman and councillorship, and councillors in every state. If the local government autonomy must work in Nigeria, then the Supreme Court and the National Assembly should enact it into law, and new elections should be done in every state. I want to tell you, it's not every local government. Like my state, for example, Kaduna State. If the election would have held in Kaduna State, I will hit my chest and tell you that if we don't win chairmanship position, we will win up to 12 chairmanship out of 23. Because we have finished our underground work. But we are just there waiting, and the governor the chairman of the commission for electoral commission just stood up by 11 and just announced that the election in Kaduna State is successful. The APC has won 255 councillorship position. The APC have won 23 local government chairmanship position. Congratulations to them. Less than 3 minutes. The media announcement has finished, which I know you know very well. Collation of results at times even enter the next day. But in less than, no result sheet. From ward, no result sheet. From polling unit, no result sheet. Local government, no result sheet. It wasn't taken. We were still in SECOM waiting for them to bring this result sheet. But the chairperson has gone to announce victory for a ruling party. Now, where is the local government autonomy? Where is the people that did everything? Like my state, the local government chairman, those contesting candidates were asked to pay 2 million. 2 million for you to contest chairmanship position. You will pay the government 2 million. For you to contest for councillor, you will pay the government 500,000. Now they paid all this money, and they still didn't get to participate in the election. They pay this money, they campaign, spend their resources, print every kind of whatever it is. They employed various agent, they've even paid the agent part payment to go to various polling units, and election result was announced. Where is the autonomy? So if it will work, the National Assembly has to nag it into law, and we do it just like the way of the general election. The day of the local government election should be the same thing, the way the national general election will be in for presidency and others. The same way it should be done in the country simultaneously. Once that is done, then we cannot say, yes, Nigeria are now for trying to, not that they started, trying to practice the local government autonomy. But if not so, I want to still tell you that the governors are still in charge of the local government, and it is whatever they tell, because they appointed them, not elected. The people did not elect them. So it's only those you elect you can remove. It's only those you elect you can recall. But if it is appointment, it's the man who appoint the man. I ain't going to remove the man who appoints now.
All right. Now, let's move with a particular issue, which is a major problem right now. I wouldn't really call it a problem because there are supposed to be benefits from this. That has to do with the tax reform bills. If we could have the 8-point agenda again, I mean, the Committee for Tax has talked about, a uniform tax bill that is put forward with the National Assembly. So that should fall under, economic growth and, of course, improving playing field on which people and particular companies can operate, which has been very, very controversial. Now, I want to hear from your own perspective. Of course, your party has called for, dialogue about these tax reform bills. But what is your take on this?
You see, the tax reform bill is a good bill, but it's presented at the wrong time. It's a good bill.
So when is the right time?
The right time is if Nigerian economy is stable to an extent. Don't forget, as long as we are running at 35%, isn't it? 35% downplay of the economy. And we are now bringing tax reform. Don't forget, as of December, it was December that we had up to 26 states. As of December 2024, 26 states accepting the payment of 70,000 naira minimum wage, which, as at that December, they've not even started payments. And you are bringing the issue of tax reform. It's just like you are robbing Peter to save Paul. You are giving with right hand, you are collecting with left hand. At least let them enjoy the benefit first. That, we have collected our first, our second, our third, our fourth, our fifth, and our sixth salary based on the minimum wage. Maybe some of them have a lot of headlocks of debt on ground. They've not said to you, you are not bringing the issue of tax reforms. How will they meet up? How? So I, for one, just like my party have said, I'm in support of my party, it should call for a proper dialogue, and the dialogue should take a sustainable time before execution. I think that's what I'm saying. And the states who have approved and agreed that they are going to pay, just imagine since when the president has approved 70,000 as minimum wage, because of everybody feels is a landlord in his state. Look at when they are trying to implement it. Look at when they are agreeing.
So
not even implementation, they say they are agreed to
So you're
pay.
saying this is not a coincidence?
No, it's not
the
a coincidence.
timeline.
Yes.
From approval of minimum wage and the tax reform bills.
Yes, it was a planned work. It was a planned work. Even when we are saying it, that NLC was saying it, that it was that amount is too mega. It is too mega. It's too mega. Just like all the responsibility I just told you now. So it means now that you are going to be confined in one place because this is the only thing you can make do with yourself. Imagine a father who has 5 children. We are not talking about the children of now. At my age, I grew up in a family of 9. My father gave birth to 9 children. How do you expect my father to run 9 children with 70,000? And let's assume all of us are in school. Okay, even in government school, we're in government school. Are we not going to pay transport to go to government school? Are we not going to buy uniform? Are we not going to buy books? Are we not going to buy shoes and other things? How are we going to meet up? When it comes to the time of making one research or the other, how are we going to make up? We need laptops, we need everything. A laptop is 150,000 to 200,000. So I want you to understand very well
I
that
had
this
the opportunity
tax reform,
to interview
yes.
Bayo Nanuga last year, and there was something he said. He said Nigerians are always expecting to just have one source of income, that in other countries you find people doing 2 to 3 jobs. So do you accept that response from the presidency?
Nigeria is not due for 2 to 3 jobs. Why? Because you go to work in Nigeria, you go to work by 8 o'clock, you're in your office. Before you close 4, 5. And before you get to your place of residence or going to do another thing, traffic has taken 4 hours of your time. So how do you meet up? Nigeria is not due for it. Look, it is possible, but we are not due for it.
Now,
you know where we are going up. Sorry, before you continue, where we are going up. Yes, yes, continue, please.
Yes, I wanted us to touch on the issue. It still aligns with this, talking about fighting corruption. I think that was one of the last points on the 8-point agenda revealed by the president back in 2023. So that seems to be okay. Is it really working? Well, for 2025, what do you expect from
yes,
Tinubu
administration? I expected more. And I want to say that with what Tinubu administration has done, sincerely, it was rumor that the former CBN governor was siphoning all the new money to Tinubu. They were pulling off. I say it was rumor. There was a lot of bullion van because they want to use it to campaign or whatever. And to the surprise of Nigeria, he becomes the first case study. You know, till today he's still cooling himself in one place. And we could see how everything he took from Nigeria, the present administration is collecting it back legally, which I want to say is a kudos and plus.
But some people are saying that this anti-corruption fight is selective.
If they say it's selective, let us wait and see. He's still just 2 years in his office. So let's wait and see what will happen, because I, for one, I don't think it's selective. If the almighty CBN governor is being handled, then we are waiting. The former CBN governor, we are still waiting. We are still waiting. We saw what happened. We want to see, we are still watching to see how Yaya Bello, when the case continues, how the government will collect back the money that is in his care and others. We want to see, we are still watching. Nigeria, we are watching. We are very, very optimistic that fighting corruption, Tinubu have set a good ground. Let us wait and see how it will finish it. Not just the same, not only that, you can see, like in the newscast yesterday and then before yesterday, we could see the former governor of Kaduna State, Ahmed El-Rufai, going to visit his commissioner for finance in the prison. Because of what? The misappropriation of what? Of funds. So I want to say that the president is going to do more, and this administration will do more. Anybody that is found wanting should be taken care of. And it should not be a religion thing, and it should not be a zonal thing. It should not be a tribal thing, it should not be a sentimental thing. Okay. It should be cut across the nation. I think it's going to help us. Even the sitting governors too should be pruned.
Okay, we'll get to that, but do recall that they took the EFCC to court, but that's another matter for another day.
Yes.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, the conversation continues. This time around, when we come back, we'll look into the expectations and projections for politics in 2025. It's beginning to shape up as something that is really going to be interesting, so we'll be right back. To stay with us.
What makes the political system what it is today? What are the recurring issues? Order. The tussle for power.
An extremely problematic area.
The tension. The instability of the system. Join Ellen 24/7 as we take you inside the local and international political arena in the world of politics.
Apologize for saying that I was corrupt. I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
Watch politics now on Ellen 24/7.
Don't miss Politics Now on Ellen 24/7.
Many thanks for staying with us on politics. Now, let's move the conversation further to our second talking point, looking at the outlook for politics in 2025. Nigeria's political landscape is poised for a dynamic period marked by both continuity and political shifts. The aftermath of the 2023 general elections, with its attendant legal challenges and varying degrees of acceptance, will likely continue to shape the political discourse. We can expect a strengthening emphasis on electoral reforms aimed at fostering greater transparency and inclusivity. The ruling party will face the pressure of delivering on campaign promises while navigating the complex tapestry of regional and ethnic interests. The opposition, on the other hand, will be strategizing for future elections and aiming to hold the government accountable. Now, key issues such as economic diversification, insecurity, and youth unemployment will remain central to the political agenda, demanding innovative solutions and effective governance. The degree to which the government addresses these challenges will significantly impact the political climate and public trust in 2025 and beyond. Talking about beyond, I mean, it's not even 2027 yet, and there's been so many permutations, so many agitations, and you're wondering, let's even allow the president to even finish his tenure. So what are your minds in terms of your thoughts, rather, in terms of your projections for 2025 and your expectations?
Just like people will say, let the person breathe. I say, let Tinubu
No, it's
breathe,
the president that made that statement. He said, let the poor breathe.
Let the poor breathe.
Let the president breathe.
Let the president breathe. Now, that's what we will be thinking. But, politics...
That's the fun thing of politics.
Yeah, politics is a continuous thing. Take a look at the case study of the Ghana today. The inauguration taking place in Ghana is a president who was thinking he's going to do 8 years. But to his biggest shock and surprise, the person he never thought of, the masses came together.
Same for U.S. President-elect.
Same for U.S.
Donald
President.
Trump.
Said, no, we don't want you again. We elected you, and now we don't want you. Or you took power, we don't want you. So the same thing will happen in Nigeria in 2027, unless the sitting president today meet up Nigerians' request. When he meet up Nigeria's request, then Nigeria can go back and rethink. But I want to say that 2025 is meant for governance. 2025 is not for political public permutation. It is supposed to be for encouragement, support, and all-inclusive governance for the people. It is when we now get close to 2027 we begin to talk. But for 2025, it's for us to observe the gray areas where they are failing, where they've not done well, call them to order, talk to them, and see that they reverse and do the needful. Because this is our country. APC is not APC president. It's not APC governor. It's not APC senator. It's Nigerian senator. Just like you see, if you go to the Red Chamber, they will say the senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a member of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the governor of Federal Republic of Nigeria representing so state, president of the Federal Republic of what? Nigeria. These are some of these things that we are going to be looking at tactically for 2025. Now, and I want to say that all political parties, as at this moment, they are going to be doing underground reshuffling, underground permutation, underground sorting and scatting for whoever will represent them before 2026, 2027.
Okay, now let me continue from where you stopped there. Now, how will that happen? There's been calls for electoral reform. There is a whole lot. Even INEC has said they want to do some restructuring with diaspora voting and so many other modifications to enhance our democratic process. So what are you looking at in terms of that angle of our elections? I mean, we just have one election, if I'm correct, for 2025. That's the Anambra State governorship election. But what needs to change? Of course, we can't wait till 2027 before we begin to make those adjustments.
I want to just put it before you that we don't have just Anambra. We have re-elections of various National Assembly,
okay, yeah,
the
apart from
and the red chambers who have passed on, and also for state assembly that have
were elected into office.
They are
like
that the ones
governor.
that were appointed for further responsibility and others, and those seats have been made vacant. So all those elections will take place this year. But I want to tell you that I am still being skeptical concerning the INEC. I'm still being skeptical concerning the INEC because really the INEC has not really taken steps. 2 years on the line, electoral defaulters have not been punished in Nigeria. And you are talking about reform. As of December, they were talking that INEC has set to persecute or take to court or do whatever to electoral offenders. 2 years after election. So who is blocking who? Who is covering who? That's supposed to be immediately afterward the election that decision is supposed to take. That was what the electoral law say. But because the people, the INEC themselves are maybe those who sponsor those they sponsor. So they have been keeping them for that time, let them be enjoying themselves. By now, we're supposed to be talking about either they serving their term or paying their whatever that has been done to them. But nothing is done. So INEC coming to do electoral reform again, I want to say that it's going to be tough because the same INEC dealt with Nigeria 2023.
Okay, I think that's one of the areas they said they were going to look into, and also the issue of voter identification and the review of that to see the possibility whereby it's very easy for an average Nigerian to get a voter's card.
It is simple, just like you said. If you want to eat bush meat, if antelope is in the bush, it's antelope meat. If it's in the city, it's called goat meat. So the same person who are going to do this reform are still the same persons who dealt with Nigeria. The same persons who cancel, who at the dying minute of election without taking permission from Nigerians and without informing Nigeria, they changed the whole political scenario. Dropping the machine at the dying minute election was going on.
Now, I listened carefully to what the INEC chairman, Yakubu, talked about. He said this is going to take, effort and political will from the National Assembly because INEC on its own cannot do that. Most of the things that need to be in place for things to actually work properly. Do you see this 10th National Assembly doing that now or wait till when there is an election year cycle?
It's going to be very difficult because of the almighty Senate president that we have, the talk and do man. God's will Akpabio, to an extent, he has his good side, and to an extent, he has his other side. But I want to say, if the Senate president will go with his good side, certainly the reform and anything that needs to be done in the INEC will be done. But if he goes to the other side, you will just see they will read document and that's all. Just like example, the issue of the national anthem that was changed. The position of the national anthem was changed in less than 3 weeks. There was no public hearing. There was no sampling of opinion. And those in favor say yes, yes, say aye, the ayes have it. And the next thing, we are hearing near the background, we don't do them. You don't pass it, they take and they take, if they not take and they not take, but we don't change the national anthem, which is it's not really too good for a country that has over 200 million people. So if the masses will be taken along and public hearing will be done the way it should, I think the reform will really make a lot of sense and benefit to Nigerians.
Now, I want us to look at state politics. I mean, two peculiar cases was the issue of the Rivers politics and also the issue of what's going on in Edo State at the moment, because Nigerians were pretty thinking that as the year 2025, comes into play, that, things will just kick off gradually by Edo State local government chairman that, we're being forced to resign, not until the Federal High Court, spoke in their favor, and now we're seeing impeachments, that is going on. Almost 3 local government chairmen, 4, as the reports that we have at the moment, have been impeached forcefully. And this is, of course, allegations, made by the PDP against the APC. And you also see what's going on in Rivers State's politics. Now, how do you see these crises, so to speak, and these political impasses, playing in the year 2025?
For the sake of sincerity, the new governor of Edo State, if he continues this way, he will end up not achieving anything. You have been sworn in, and you have taken an oath to carry everybody along. We're going to fight. We're going to pull other people down. It is wrong. As at now, he's supposed to be focused, his agenda and what he wants to do for the people. He concentrates on that. Manage whosoever is there, no matter the party bias. Manage whosoever is there. By the time you get to the next political dispensation, then the people can still take their decision. Not that you just enter office in less than 3 months, you have started fighting local government. At you, a state chairman, a governor of a state, going to wage war. I think that shows that he doesn't even know why he's there. There's a lot of international investors that are waiting for him to come and talk to them, to come to Edo State. There are a lot of investors within the country that are waiting for him to come and talk to them, to come and do whatever they needful in Edo State, to come and invest in Edo State. A lot of roads in Edo State are not good. We have people who are getting a lot of benefit from Edo State. Look at the road that leads to Benin. The roads are very bad, and we have a lot of those who are benefiting from there. We have the cement factory and whatever that is being there, and you're supposed to concentrate and see how these places will be working and people will enjoy the benefit of infrastructure and administration. Not going to look at the local government, not going to say I want to remove local government. First, as a governor, you come in. You now leave your position as a father. You are not going to fight with children when there is uncles and there are other family to fight with and to get.
Now, does this verify the claims and allegations being made by opposition like yourselves that this particular administration now, is trying to move the country towards a one-party state?
I will not agree that the administration, everybody protects his mother's house. We used to say a slogan in Hausa, Guntum Gaterenka, Yafi Sare Kabani. It means the short axe you have that you are using to plug your firewood is better than the one you are waiting for your neighbor to finish using before you give you, because you don't know where you finish. I want to tell you that the APC administration may be working in order to do or bring themselves together and have a continuity. While other papers is like we, the opposition party, we are also re-strategizing on how to take power, on how to make sure that we succeed the next administration. So there is nothing like it's going to be one party system. It's not going to be. There is no how you can force me to eat your mother banga soup when I know that my mother egusi soup is sweet.
Now, because of our time, one political crisis that lingered all through 2024 and is looking like it's going to extend to 2025 is Rivers politics. I mean, just the beginning of the year, you've seen the back and forth between the Minister of the FCT and Governor Fubara. What are your thoughts? Will this end in 2025?
I like this. I like the drama that is playing. But I've been looking for opportunities.
It's entertaining for you.
It's an entertainment for me. And I want to call on you in the first place. You deprive the governor from resources. You deprive him from having access to so many things. And he's still moving. And everything is achieving is 100 over 100. And can't you rest? I want to call on the governor of Rivers State that is in Abuja FCT, the governor of FCT. Yes, Wike, I have always liked everything about you. But this fight between you and Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, which I want to call that shield your sword. You have a lot. I want to tell you, since you came into Abuja, I am among those who have been proud of what you have done in Abuja. And I'm still talking about it anywhere. Just like as I say, anywhere I see good, I talk about it. You have worked very well for Abuja, and Abuja still needs you to do more. You are giving Abuja the real face of the FCT that we clamor for. And I want to say it that, please, leave Rivers State alone and face the assignment you have in the FCT. The FCT has not had you enough. Concentrate here. Those resources you are sending to do one thing or the other from Rivers State, please just leave it, channel it, and channel that strength to FCT, so that the other places that are still yet to get the impact of the good work you are doing, they will get that impact. Sincerely, I want to say it, and I want the world to hear it, that you have done well and you are still doing well. But please, leave Fubara to do his work and let the people of Rivers State take their decision when it comes to 2027 election.
Well, Honorable Pastor Hassan Peter, thank you so much for being with us on the show. Our time is fast spent, but it's always a great conversation anytime you're here with us. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate Nigerians. Thank you, LN247. Thank you for having me. I appreciate all who have followed this program and have listened. And I want to say it that our responsibility is to make one Nigeria and make Nigeria great again. This year is a positive year. Let us support anything positive and run away from any negativity. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, that's the much that we can take on the show. Many thanks for watching. Once again, my name is Morno Balagogo. See you next time right here on Politics Now.